is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun.
He is an American cultural phenomenon, one of the most popular faces on television today, and a businessman who built a $200 million empire. Steve Harvey is not just a comedian, he is an icon. But what lies behind that dazzling smile on stage? Rumors of infidelity that shook Hollywood. A multi-million-dollar lawsuit that nearly swallowed his career. Shocking statements powerful enough to ignite a global media storm. Who is Steve Harvey? A model man or a conflicted entertainer forever walking the dangerous line between glory and scandal? This video will expose every truth you never knew about the king of television, Steve Harvey. In 1957, in the small town of Welch, West Virginia, where coal mines filled the skies with smoke, a boy named Broderick Stephen Harvey was born into a poor working-class family. His father was a coal miner, his mother a teacher, a modest household with nothing to spare. Steve's childhood was marked by poverty. Every meal had to be carefully counted. Clothes were often hand-me-downs from his siblings. The family endured winters so bitterly cold that the wind whistled through the cracks of old wooden doors. From an early age, Steve stood out. He had a unique gift for making people laugh. In class, his teachers were often exasperated by his cheeky behavior, but his classmates adored his impressions and spontaneous comedy. Yet deep inside, Steve was a boy weighed down by insecurity. He had a stutter, and every time he had to speak in front of the class, cold sweat broke out across his forehead. One day, a teacher asked Steve, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" The class burst into laughter when he stammered, I want to be on TV." To them, it was a joke. To Steve, it was a dream. That moment haunted him throughout his youth. Steve later recalled, "They laughed out loud, and the teacher told me to pick a more realistic career. But I knew that was my destiny." In that instant, as the classroom mocked him, a small fire began to burn inside Harvey. His young adulthood was anything but easy. After graduation, Harvey drifted through countless jobs: house painter, insurance salesman, even a mailman. But each job was short-lived, offering no real joy. He kept asking himself, "Was I born just to do this?" The harshest fall of his life came when Harvey became homeless. In the 1980s, while his friends had homes and families, he lived in an old Ford Tempo. For 3 years, that car was both his bed and his shelter. Steve washed up at gas stations' public pools, and some days survived only on cheap sandwiches. One winter night, Harvey recalled curling up in the back seat, his stomach growling, staring at the stained ceiling of his car. One question filled his mind: "Am I wasting my life?" Then, out of habit, he pulled out paper and pen, scribbling down bits of comedy. In his darkest hour, Harvey still clung to one belief. One day he would stand on stage, making thousands of people laugh and applaud. Strangely, it was that very hardship that became his strength. Harvey once admitted, "If you've never had to sleep in a car, never cried from hunger, you will never understand what real ambition is." That stubborn grit slowly pulled Harvey out of the darkness. The turning point. From small stages to the king of American television. There was once a saying that spread through the stand-up world: "If Steve Harvey has the microphone, get ready for applause." In the 1980s, when Harvey first tried his luck in local comedy clubs, he had nothing but ambition and a handful of everyday stories. Yet it was that honesty, those tales of poverty, heartbreak, and the struggle to survive that made audiences nod in recognition and then burst into laughter. From tiny stages with just a few dozen people, that laughter began to carry Harvey far. In 1990, Harvey first caught the attention of major producers when he reached the finals of the Johnny Walker National Comedy Search. That was his first big break. From being an unknown face, he became a name audiences remembered. This leap immediately took him to the Apollo Theater in Harlem, the sacred stage for Black performers. There, Harvey stood under the spotlight delivering jokes about hardship and tough times. The audience roared with laughter, and Steve knew his moment had come. The true peak exploded in 2000 when Harvey joined the original Kings of Comedy, alongside Bernie McCedrick the Entertainer and D.L. Hewley. The tour not only sold out across the United States, but also grossed more than $30 million, becoming one of the most successful comedy tours in history. Spike Lee's documentary about the tour instantly turned the group into legends. And at the center of the spotlight, Steve Harvey emerged as the MC of the Kings, the one who set the rhythm and led the way. After comedy, Harvey expanded into radio with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. But the push that crowned him, the king of television, was Family Feud. When he took the host's seat in 2010, the program was fading. Yet within just a few seasons, Harvey sent ratings soaring, transforming the show into an American cultural phenomenon, and the top-rated program in its slot. In some years, it even outperformed Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! For Harvey, Family Feud meant another financial leap, with his hosting role alone estimated to bring in $10 to $12 million annually. At the same time, Harvey became an unexpected best-selling author. His book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, 2009 sold millions of copies, staying on the New York Times bestseller list for 23 consecutive weeks. The once homeless comedian had now become a best-selling author and one of Hollywood's most sought-after names. These achievements brought Harvey numerous awards and recognition, including Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Host and NAACP Image Awards for his contributions to the African American community. He was honored in radio, television, and publishing, something very few Black entertainers had ever achieved. That journey is itself a striking paradox. A man who once slept in his car and showered at gas stations, now earning tens of millions of dollars annually, building an entertainment empire worth hundreds of millions. A storyteller who turned laughter into gold and pain into legacy. Yet glory never comes without a price. Just as Steve Harvey climbed to the top, waves of scandal began crashing down. And it was in those storms that the public saw a very different Steve Harvey. He was not only the man who made people laugh, but also a figure who deeply divided public opinion. Behind the million-dollar smile, the scandals that could have sunk Steve Harvey. Rumors of infidelity and marital turmoil. One of the most persistent scandals tied to Harvey has been rumors of infidelity. Hollywood tabloids once went wild with claims that he had extramarital affairs during his marriage to Marjorie Bridges, his third wife and the queen of his life. In 2023, social media erupted when rumors spread that Marjorie was having affairs with both the family's bodyguard and private chef. The gossip spread so quickly that the keyword Steve Harvey divorce became a top trending topic on Twitter. Steve immediately fired back, standing on stage at a public event and declaring, "My wife and I are fine. Nobody here is cheating. Don't believe that garbage." Marjorie also clapped back, posting a series of sweet photos with her husband on Instagram, along with the caption, "Don't let lies tear apart our love." Yet the rumors never completely disappeared. They left cracks in the carefully built image of Harvey as the perfect husband and father. Fans split into two camps, those who trusted him and those who doubted, saying, "There's no smoke without fire." Few people know that Harvey once stood on the brink of losing everything because of a lawsuit that dragged on for years. The $20 million lawsuit, with a videographer and a contract dispute. One of the biggest legal nightmares of his life unfolded in Dallas. In 2017, Harvey was sued by a former associate, a videographer who had worked with him for years, demanding damages of up to $20 million. The reason Harvey was accused of breaching a contract, cutting off an exclusive agreement, and exploiting someone else's work without fair compensation. The lawsuit stretched on for years, becoming a hot topic in the press. Harvey had to appear in court, facing the risk that his career and reputation as a media mogul could collapse. At the time, he stayed silent before the press, only responding through his lawyer. "These allegations are baseless, and we will prove it in court." Fortunately for Harvey, the Dallas jury ultimately ruled in his favor. In 2019, the court declared he was not liable for damages, ending the long legal battle. But the shadow of that lawsuit lingered. Harvey's image was tarnished with whispers of being a tough player in contracts, and the public began to question, was he really as upright as he always preached? Harvey is famous for being outspoken, but more than once he has turned blunt honesty into a slip of the tongue that shocked the public. The rule: "My daughter's ex is my ex too." Among Steve Harvey's many controversial statements, nothing ignited public debate more than his remarks about Lori Harvey. his adopted daughter famous for her fashion sense, and high-profile list of celebrity exes. On his radio show, Harvey suddenly dropped a bombshell opinion. "Let me tell you something. If you're done with my daughter, then you're done with me too. My daughter's ex is my ex." What seemed like a joke instantly triggered a media storm. After all, Lori Harvey's list of exes was already headline-worthy, including rapper future singer Trey Songz and actor Michael B. Jordan. When Steve Harvey made that statement, the internet immediately went into overdrive, connecting the dots, creating memes, and even turning it into a trending topic. One fan commented on Twitter, "So does this mean Steve Harvey just broke up with Future and Michael B. Jordan? This is drama I never thought I'd see." While many laughed and called it the best joke of the year, others criticized Harvey for going too far, turning his daughter's private life into a public punchline. One tabloid even ran the headline, "Steve Harvey turns Lori into a national punchline." Faced with the mixed reactions, Harvey stood firm. He added, "I protect my daughters. If you hurt them, you're out of my life too. That's how I roll." For him, it was an expression of fatherly love. But for audiences, the statement added another layer to his image, portraying Harvey as both the powerful dad ready to defend his daughter and a man unafraid to turn family matters into public shock value. Love it or hate it, the fact remained with just one sentence. Steve Harvey once again had the world talking about him. Shocking remarks and accusations of showing off. On a talk show, he once advised women, "Don't date poor men. If he does not have money, he cannot take care of you." That remark hit like a bomb. Within hours, a wave of articles, blogs, and reaction videos erupted. People criticized Harvey as materialistic, even calling him someone who had forgotten the past when he slept in an old car and showered at gas stations. One Twitter user wrote, "He used to be poor, yet now he turns back and mocks poor men. That is ironic." But the scandal did not stop at his words. Harvey was also labeled a show-off. He often appeared in bespoke suits handcrafted to perfection, with rumors that his wardrobe contained more than 500 suits in every shade. On his wrist, Harvey once flaunted a Patek Philippe worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, not to mention a collection of luxury cars ranging from Rolls-Royce to Bentley. The peak came in 2021 when Harvey posted a video checking in at his lavish Atlanta mansion valued at more than $15 million. With a dressing room as large as a showroom packed with designer suits. The video quickly spread, but instead of admiration, many viewers felt irritated. One comment shared tens of thousands of times read, "Steve, stop the flexing. People watch Family Feud to laugh, not to see you flaunt money." The incident made Harvey's image even more two-sided. On one hand, he was praised as a symbol of the American dream from homelessness to millions. On the other hand, he was seen as arrogant and disconnected from reality. If the infidelity rumors or the multi-million-dollar lawsuit were only cracks behind the curtain, then the war of words with this comedian was the real bomb exploding on stage, where Steve Harvey's pride and reputation were dissected before millions of viewers. A fierce feud with Cat Williams. In early 2024, Hollywood was shaken when comedian Cat Williams appeared on the Club Shay Shay podcast and directly targeted Steve Harvey. Without mincing words, Williams accused Harvey of stealing ideas from Mark Curry, the actor from the sitcom Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, to create The Steve Harvey Show. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Steve Harvey did everything Mark Curry did and turned it into The Steve Harvey Show. Cat Williams Club Shay Shay 2024. Williams went further, mocking Harvey by saying he could never become a movie star, criticizing both his acting style and his hosting. The attack spread, instantly clipped and shared across TikTok and Twitter, dividing the internet. Some argued Williams was telling the truth, while others dismissed it as jealousy. Harvey, known for never backing down, fired back shortly after. On his own show, he sent a message to fans, "I used to be a fighter. I can still knock your monkey ass out. I'm a comedian, man. This is jokes. I don't care nothing about that." Steve Harvey. This statement was believed to be aimed at Williams, but Harvey later explained that it was just a joke delivered while speaking to an audience, not an actual challenge to fight. A few days later, in a conversation on the Pivot podcast, Harvey admitted he regretted responding to those accusations. "I should have never said anything. I don't need that. I regret responding to it." The incident revealed a paradox. Even at the height of his career, Harvey was still easily pulled into the whirlwind of drama. The feud with Cat Williams exposed both his hot temper and his need to control himself in order to protect a brand worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The impact of scandals on Steve's image scandals can destroy a celebrity's career, but for Steve Harvey, they have become a double-edged sword. Every rumor of infidelity, every shocking remark, every fiery feud was like a slash against the image of the model father he had worked so hard to build. Many fans who once idolized Harvey bluntly commented, "He's only good at preaching morals, but his personal life is nothing but scandal." Yet the paradox is that these very controversies turned Harvey into a media magnet. As long as his name appeared, headlines followed. After every drama, his social media following grew. Family Feud clips went viral, and his shows gained new viewers. This has made Harvey an irreplaceable figure on screen. An imperfect icon, but it is precisely that imperfection that keeps audiences hooked, unable to look away. If scandals are the storm clouds that surround him, then money, success, and a massive fortune are the sunshine that keeps Steve Harvey shining bright in the entertainment world. He is not only a hit television host, but also a versatile businessman and a style icon. Empire and fortune, Steve Harvey's lavish lifestyle. After more than 3 decades on stage, radio, television screens, and even on the shelves of bestsellers, Harvey has risen into the ranks of the wealthiest entertainers in America. According to Celebrity Net Worth and Money Made, his fortune is currently estimated at around $200 million, a figure that makes even his peers in comedy tip their hats. Luxury real estate, the king of mansions. The crown jewel of Steve Harvey's lifestyle is real estate. The highlight of his portfolio is a $15 million mansion in Atlanta, which once belonged to filmmaker and actor Tyler Perry. This sprawling estate spans thousands of square meters and features an infinity pool, tennis courts, a private movie theater, spa gym, and a garage large enough to house his fleet of luxury cars. It is not just a home, but a power symbol of wealth. Real estate magazines have called it one of the most extravagant estates in the region, a place only the ultra-wealthy could dream of owning. Beyond Atlanta, Harvey also owned a penthouse in Chicago, which he sold in 2018 for $7.7 million. He has properties in Texas and California as well, creating a diverse and highly valuable real estate portfolio. One of Harvey's most profitable ventures has been publishing. His book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. 2009 turned him into a best-selling author. It sold millions of copies and stayed on the New York Times bestseller list for over 20 weeks. Hollywood then adapted it into the film Think Like a Man, 2012, which grossed more than $90 million at the box office, many times its production budget. From a single line on his radio show, Harvey built a successful franchise that generated revenue while boosting his reputation. Few would have guessed that Steve Harvey would also become a fashion icon, a style icon, the suit king among artists. Harvey is notorious for being addicted to suits. His collection is rumored to number in the hundreds, enough to wear a different one every day of the year without repeating. The image of Steve Harvey in a 3-piece suit with bold color combinations has become a signature part of his personal brand. He even launched his own menswear line catering to the African American community and middle-aged audiences. His wardrobe is often compared to a luxury showroom filled with bespoke suits from fashion houses like Tom Ford and Dolce & Gabbana, paired with Italian leather shoes and high-end accessories. Living like the world is his stage. Steve Harvey spends money as if the entire world were his stage. His travels are never ordinary, stepping out of a Rolls-Royce Phantom cruising in a Bentley, or making a grand entrance in a fiery red Ferrari as if daring the paparazzi's flashbulbs. On his wrist gleams a Patek Philippe Grand Complications, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, a statement piece that all but declares, "I've won the game." And if you want to know what ultimate luxury looks like, step into his infamous dressing room inside the Atlanta mansion. It is not a closet, but a private showroom. Bespoke suits hung neatly in color-coded order, polished Italian leather shoes gleaming under the lights, Swiss watches displayed like treasures in glass cases. A video tour of this room once made the internet explode, millions of views, fans dazzled, and critics outraged. The king of Family Feud had turned his home into a stage for flaunting wealth. Steve Harvey may be the king of television in the public eye, but behind the spotlight, his private life has been marked by storms, broken marriages, and moments of anxiety and despair. Private life and personal struggles. 3 marriages, 3 chapters of life. Harvey married for the first time in 1981 to Marcia Harvey, the woman who shared the hard, impoverished years with him when he was still an unknown comedian. They had 3 children together, but that 14-year marriage ended quietly. Many sources say Harvey was swept up by the dream of comedy, spending more time on stage than with his family, which caused the relationship to break down. His second marriage to Mary Shackelford left deeper scars. They married in 1996, but divorced bitterly in 2005. Mary accused Harvey of infidelity and of abandoning the family just as his career peaked. Harvey denied the allegations, but the divorce became a public stain, exploited relentlessly by the press. Mary even posted videos accusing her ex-husband on YouTube, seriously damaging Harvey's image. It was not until 2007 that Harvey found a new harbor in Marjorie Bridges, his third wife. Harvey called her the greatest gift of his life, and repeatedly stated publicly that without Marjorie, his career would never have reached its current heights. Even so, the 2023 rumors about Marjorie's infidelity made the public ask whether the ideal love Harvey praised was truly enduring or merely a glittering facade. If broken marriages left emotional scars on Steve Harvey, financial shocks struck directly at his reputation and career. In the early 2000s, Harvey faced a true nightmare: the tax authorities, financial collapse, and the shadow of depression. Behind the glamour of his television shows, Steve Harvey fell into a financial abyss he described as a darkness with no way out. In one candid radio moment, Harvey revealed a shocking secret: for 7 consecutive years, his accountant had not filed taxes with the Internal Revenue Service. Harvey admitted he knew nothing about it. Every time he signed a check to pay taxes, he believed the matter had been handled. But when the truth came out, the debt had reached tens of millions of dollars. He recalled, "I remember trembling when my lawyer told me. I owed so much I thought I would never be able to pay it off in my lifetime. I thought my career was over." That shock came just as Harvey was expanding his empire from comedy into radio and television. Suddenly, every plan collapsed under the threat of the IRS seizing his assets. At the time, headlines constantly tied Steve Harvey's name to the phrase tax problems, dragging down his image at the very peak of his career. Harvey described that period as endless sleepless nights, feeling like sitting in a dark room watching the light fade away little by little. He admitted he fell into extreme anxiety and depression. "There were nights I couldn't even breathe. All I thought about was failure, about everything I was about to lose. I almost wanted to give up." The pressure of failed marriages, relentless work demands, and the financial blow pushed Harvey into the darkest chapter of his life. It was not just about losing money. It was about losing trust, losing honor, and losing the standing he had worked so hard to build. But instead of breaking down, Harvey chose to confront it. He said that every time he woke up, he reminded himself, "God didn't bring me this far just to abandon me." His faith and the love of his family, especially his current wife Marjorie, helped him gradually climb out of that financial and emotional abyss. In the years that followed, Harvey worked twice as hard, taking on more shows, expanding radio, signing new television contracts. Every dollar he earned went straight to paying back the IRS, and in the end, he cleared the entire multi-million-dollar debt, saving the empire that had nearly collapsed. Harvey now looks back at that shock as a priceless lesson. "I once lost everything, I once hit rock bottom. But if you're still alive, you still have a chance. And I came back from that very bottom." Steve Harvey never stops making waves. At nearly 70 years old, Steve Harvey could have chosen to live comfortably, enjoying the multi-million-dollar empire he built. Yet in recent years, his name has continued to dominate headlines and flood social media, not just because Family Feud remains a hit, but because of his razor-sharp statements and controversies, loud enough to make even Hollywood tremble. Leaving stand-up because of cancel culture. On the Pivot podcast, Harvey surprised listeners when he revealed the reason he left the stand-up stage, the very place that made his name more than a decade ago. He said comedy is too hard to do right now. Harvey admitted that since 2012 he had noticed the shift in society. One wrong joke could destroy an entire career because of cancel culture. On top of that, his overloaded schedule with television and radio forced him to choose. I had too many shows. I had to give up something to keep my family. The decision sparked heated debate. Some sympathized, while others said he had surrendered to pressure. Either way, it marked the end of the Steve Harvey stand-up era. Even Family Feud, the show, long regarded as America's family gathering, has not been spared from controversy. Drama on Family Feud has long been considered America's national family show. Lighthearted fun and perfect for the whole family to watch together after dinner. But in the summer of 2025, the program took a surprising turn when it aired a special episode featuring an all-trans team competing to raise money for T's Madison Starter House, a charity supporting the LGBTQ+ community. From the introductions, the studio atmosphere felt different. One contestant stepped out beaming and shouted, "Steve Harvey, it's okay to free ball. We're free balling today." The audience erupted in laughter while Harvey froze for a few seconds, giving that familiar confused, helpless stare that Family Feud fans know all too well. The moment was clipped, uploaded to TikTok, and racked up millions of views. After the broadcast, a storm of debate broke out. One side hailed it as a bold turning point. This is Family Feud for a new era, bringing laughter out of diversity. The other side was furious. What kind of family show puts such sensitive issues on primetime TV? Steve Harvey has turned a fun program into a political stage. Major outlets didn't ignore the controversy either. Web called it the most controversial episode of Family Feud in a decade. The Sun ran with the headline, "Steve Harvey loses control on the Family Feud stage," while publishing a series of photos showing him frowning, folding his arms, and trying to suppress a laugh after the sensitive answers. What stood out was that Harvey himself did not remain silent. In a later talk, he explained, "I'm the host. My job is to keep everything in line. But I also believe that Family Feud reflects the society out there, and society is changing." His answer didn't calm everyone. Some praised him for his composure and courage to stand in the middle of the storm. But harsh critics argued Steve Harvey is just trying to protect ratings. He no longer preserves the true nature of the show. Right or wrong, the summer 2025 broadcast clearly became the Family Feud earthquake, turning a once wholesome game show into the center of a much larger cultural debate. And once again, Steve Harvey, with his million-dollar smile, stood at the eye of the media storm, celebrated as the beloved host by some and attacked fiercely by others. Beyond career controversies, Harvey's personal life has also been constant tabloid fodder. His wife, Marjorie Harvey, set off a wave of debate when a photo of her criticized as too provocative went viral and divided the internet. Steve Harvey is not just a comedian or a TV host. He has become a cultural icon, especially within the African American community. From a boy growing up poor in West Virginia, Harvey rose to become a household face on every screen, a living testament to the zero-to-hero story from homelessness to building a multi-million-dollar empire. Looking back on Steve Harvey's career and life, one sees a multi-layered picture. On one side, he is the embodiment of, from the bottom to the top, an inspiration to those still struggling to find their chance. His achievements are undeniable. Best-selling books, blockbuster shows, and scholarships that changed countless young lives. But on the other side, Harvey is also the center of endless controversy. From messy divorces and show-off scandals to shocking statements and dramas right on the Family Feud stage. These scandals repeatedly placed his image under the microscope, leaving the public torn between admiration and skepticism. The future for Harvey will likely never be calm. He will continue to host hit shows, continue to appear in tabloid headlines, and continue to deliver remarks that set the internet on fire. That is the Steve Harvey brand, a star who never disappears from the public radar. And perhaps the following line sums him up best. Steve Harvey is not just a host. He is a cultural phenomenon that you can love, hate, but never ignore.
All data, analysis, and commentary in this video are presented based on information available at the time of production. The content is subject to change over time and should not be considered a definitive forecast. There is still so much more to explore: stories of resilience, legacy, and truth. Feel free to dive into some of our top recommended videos. now appearing on your screen.